My name is Megan Nice. I'm with Colorado After School Partnership, and Jennifer Giambi is also part of Colorado After School Partnership. So I am the network lead of CAP, and Jennifer is our communications manager, and so she does all the marketing for us and is doing such a great job creating graphics and just getting the message out there about our work. And so CAP is part of a 50 statewide after school network. So there's 49 other organizations like CAP. And what we do is we work to empower and lift up and build up the after school and summer field and the amazing work that happens in after school time. We are creating a coalition here in Colorado of providers and out of school time champions, and we work on policies and supporting policies that bring more money into the field, creating partnerships to make it stronger, and we work on sustainability and quality as well. So right now our quality action team is working to create guidelines for quality for the field. So that's some of the work. We have 5 action teams that people can join. If you're interested in learning more, visit coloradoafterschoolpartnership.org. Today, we are excited to partner with Colorado State University Extension, the 4-H STEM program, and we have 3 presenters who are going to be telling you all about what they have going on this summer and how you can partner with them. So this is an example of partnerships that make us all stronger and create more opportunities for Colorado youth. And let's see, just a quick note about some upcoming events. We've got National Summer Learning Week coming July 12th, so be sure to join our newsletter and our various social media pages, Facebook and Twitter, because we'll be sending out more information about activities during that time. And of course, and also we have a proposal out right now for STEM trainers. So we are looking for some STEM experts to do 4 STEM trainings for the field, virtual trainings this year. So visit our various pages to learn more about that. Maybe we can even put a link to that in our in the chat today. So I'm going to go back up here, just talk about today's guest presenters. We've got Claudia Meeks, 4-H Outreach Program Supervisor with Arapahoe County, Patrick Pulis, Weld County 4-H Agent, and Nicole Speeding, 4-H Youth Development Extension Agent, Douglas County. And Ruben, it sounds like you're going to be talking as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off this slideshow. I'm going to stop my share for just a minute.
But my name is Ruben Flotis. I'm a 4-H specialist, and I work with extension directors, agents, and other specialists throughout the throughout the state of Colorado. Thank you, Megan. And we wanted to, before we formally introduced ourselves, we wanted to read this land acknowledgement statement that's been crafted by the Office of Diversity, as well as with input and a lot of guidance from the Native American Cultural Center on campus at CSU. The statement reads, Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapahoe, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and of all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, this ties the nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. And so we can't speak about Colorado State University, we can't speak about 4-H or Extension or Colorado State University before we acknowledge that land. So we like to start our meetings with that acknowledgement of the people who came before us. In Spanish, they're called los antepasados. They can also be referred to as the ancestors. And so we acknowledge the land that we are using today, that we are on today. And when we start talking about the land grant system, very quick history lesson, it was Senator Morrell in the late 50s, 1850s, early 60s, that went to President Lincoln and had the idea of creating universities, colleges that everyone would have the opportunity to attend. Because up to that point, who do you think, and you can just drop it in the chat or unmute and answer the question, who do you think was taking advantage of going to college or to a university? from that point in history. For the most part, it was rich white men or males who were attending Ivy League schools. And with Senator Morrell seeing the future that we needed to be able to equip the rest of the American public with a college degree or a college education, the focus was on agriculture because the United States was still an agrarian nation, as well as military science, because we were in the midst or in the start of the Civil War, and they didn't know how long it was going to go on. So the other intent was to raise up officers who then could lead soldiers into battle. So if you think of a land-grant university, CSU, Colorado State University, is the land-grant university that serves Colorado. And so our peer institutions would be institutions like Texas A&M, Oregon State, Cornell University. So every state has a land-grant university, and in some instances, because of additional legislation, some states have more than one university or one land-grant university. When that focus turned to historical Black colleges and universities, or the serving Native tribal peoples, and then also Hispanic serving institutes, although they're not considered part of the land-grant movement, they are a form or another university. There are universities that educate and help underserved communities, specifically the Hispanic or the Latino community. So when you look at the land-grant university, that's a starting point for us. The land-grant university has three missions. One is to teach, one is to conduct research, and then to take that research and share that with the general public. And that's where extension comes in. So extension is dedicated to serving current and future needs of Coloradoans by providing educational information and programs that safeguard health, increase livelihood, and enhance well-being. So that being said, here's an example. You have a patch of grass that's not doing well in your backyard, and you can't figure out what's going on. You've watered it, you've fertilized it, you've made sure that it's getting plenty of sun, it's draining properly, etc. You can always call your local extension agent or your local extension office, and a horticultural specialist can come by, or they might be able to give you advice or send you to the website and to provide information as to why that patch of grass is not doing well. It could be it's diseased, it doesn't need as much water as you're providing, or whatever. On the same side, let's go to the animal side. Let's say that you want to start caring for backyard chickens. Then you can call your local extension office. And again, they have information where they can tell you the do's and don'ts of raising a healthy flock. So extension is part of a CSU, and then 4-H is one of the programs within extension. Okay, Megan. And Claudia, please take it away.
So as Ruben said, 4-H is the youth component of extension, and 4-H programs are all across the United States, as well as other countries. 4-H is the largest youth development organization, and we really focus on empowering youth with life skills. We focus a lot on experiential learning and positive youth development. The motto of 4-H is learning by doing, and we do just that. You know, and I'll talk a little bit about this here in a second, but we have two kind of types of programs. We have our traditional club program where the youth have a project, and then we have our outreach program, both of which really focus on following that motto as well as helping youth to find their spark. And 4-H reaches about 7 million youth in more than 50 countries. And I think that's something that is very unique. You know, we are all over the world. And I wasn't even aware of some of the countries that we were in. So I think it's awesome. My partner, he went to Norway, and he was driving around and saw a sign for 4-H in Norway, and he had to stop at the farm and talk to the people about it because of my connection to it. So I think it's just fascinating how 4-H is ever evolving and has a very far reach. One part of how 4-H reaches other countries is through military programs. Yep. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But 4-H stands for 4-H's. My little picture down at the bottom isn't in the right order, but it's head, heart, hands, and health. We pledge our head to clear thinking, our heart to greater loyalty, our hands to larger service, and our health for better living. So we move on to the next slide. So as I said, 4-H includes two different types of program areas. We have our traditional community-based club programming, um, and this can vary per state. Here in Colorado, most of our clubs are community-based. I grew up in Kentucky, where most of our clubs were project-based. So we had like a horse club, a dog club, a livestock club, a robotics club. But in our community clubs here in Colorado, we have one club maybe in, far eastern Arapahoe County, and they offer many different projects. These clubs are volunteer led. So we here in Arapahoe County, we have about 180 volunteers that work with our 4-H program. Depending on counties, I know Douglas County has quite a few volunteers, so does Weld. But some of our smaller counties may not have quite as many, but our volunteers go through, background checks, trainings with extension staff to learn more. And they work with the kids with their projects. So in our 4-H club program, all of our youth either have one project or many different projects, and those can range from STEM and technology all the way to livestock and horse. We have kids that have companion animal projects, so those kids that may not have animals like horses and cattle, they could work with their dog or their cat. Kids that have an interest in nature and outdoors, there are projects surrounding it. We have leadership, we have communications. I know Ruben shared a lengthy list of all our projects, but even if a kid doesn't see a project that they're interested in on our list, we can find ways to make that work for them. And so the club program really builds kids' life skills, and they learn a lot in their projects, because they have a record book that they have to fill out, and it teaches them about finances all the way through, understanding design elements of different projects. The second piece is our community outreach programs, and these focus a lot on working with schools, community youth organizations, libraries, and military bases. So here in Arapahoe County, I work with Buckley Military Base or Air Force Base, as well as the Colorado National Guard. So a lot of times we'll do programming with military bases. The military program, as I said, it can be found all across the world at U.S. military bases, and it provides youth some type of consistency. A lot of times in the military, they're moving every few years, and so having these consistent 4-H programs really gives them a sense of comfort, I think. But within our community and outreach programs, we do camps. I have an urban ranchers camp that I'm starting here in 2 weeks, where we bring farm animals out to our fairgrounds and let youth from urban areas experience ranch life and learn about livestock and agriculture industry. I have 2 STEM camps coming up here next week and the week after. So we do a lot of stuff like that throughout the year. We have a variety of focuses, and I'll talk a little bit about those here on the next slide, but a lot of it's usually geared towards STEM, because that seems to be one of the biggest needs that we learn from our educators and folks in the community as something they would like for us to do more of. We also can offer kits, in-person programming, whether that be in school, after school, out of school, virtual programs. That was our livelihood the last year and a half now, has been doing virtual programs and reaching youth in a virtual setting. I developed a couple virtual camps, and it was a learning experience, but it was still a great way to engage with youth when we weren't able to be in person. So we can move on to our next slide. So this is kind of a list that I just put together of some of the outreach program that you may find in your county. As Ruben said, I think most of our counties have an office. Some do have like a regional based office, but they still serve individual counties. So these programs may vary. Not all counties may offer. Some counties may offer a whole lot more, but this kind of was a general list that I thought of. STEM is one of our biggest programs, followed very closely by embryology, where we bring incubators and fertilized eggs into classrooms and after school programs and community organizations, and the kids get to watch the chicks hatch and learn about the life cycle. Ag literacy. Here in Arapahoe County, we just recently started a community garden at one of our local schools in Inglewood. And this goes along the lines of partnering with our horticulture staff in our Colorado Master Gardener program, because we are building a grow and give program to where the kids in the school have worked on the garden, and as it grows, they give back to the community and provide nutritious, healthy vegetables. So there's just a gauntlet of programs that we offer: entomology, energy, nature outdoors, cooking, baking. I'm not going to read the rest, but you can reach your county extension agents to see what programming they have. But these are just some of the things that you may find in some of the counties that you guys live in and work with. All right, I think that was all I had. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I forgot about this part. So this is the exciting part. We wanted to, so I do a lot of STEM experiments and activities with kids, and I try to keep them really low cost because I don't want to put the burden back on the youth or the schools that I'm working with or community organizations. So I have my little in the kitchen STEM activities that I do. And these are just a short list of some really simple experiments or activities that you can do with kids with stuff that you probably still have around your house that you can just grab, or kids could bring supplies from their homes. And I'm going to show you two of my favorites. So the first one is the gas balloon blow up. And so I have in my water bottle some vinegar. I've got a balloon and a funnel, and I'm going to put baking soda in it. And this is one that I usually work with a lot of elementary school kids, and they just love this because it's fun. They don't know what to expect all the time. But let me get my baking soda in my balloon here. And I use this activity to talk a little bit about chemical reactions and to introduce the kids to chemistry, as well as to talk about phases of matter. And I like to talk about gases because, we don't usually see gases. We don't see oxygen that we're breathing. So in this experiment, they're able to see a gas that is that comes from the chemical reaction.
Can everyone see her okay?
Okay. Oh, yeah. You can probably take me.
I was thinking about stopping the share so we can really.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Yay.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. So I use this to talk about, how gases expand, and we don't really get to see them because they're in the atmosphere. So this is a great activity. My little kids just love to do this one. It's one of their all-time favorites. But of course, they end up making a mess because they want to shake everything, and then the vinegar and baking soda goes everywhere. But I'm like, well, guess what? It's a cleaning agent. So your floors will be super clean. Another activity that I like to do, since Colorado is a space state, we have a ton of space industry here. I like to make rockets. So this is an old school film canister from back in the day when we used to have regular film. Let me stop my video for just a second. Start back. There we go. All right, and I've got some Alka-Seltzer tablets. And I like to do this one with a variety of ages, but I have learned that with older kids, they want to see how many Alka-Seltzer tablets they can fit in here and how crazy of a reaction it's going to be. But what I do is I take my Alka-Seltzer tablets and just put in the lid of the film canister. I'm going to take a little bit of water, and you can have the kids build a rocket with this. I found that with a lot of paper, sometimes the rocket is too heavy. We talk about parts of the rocket with this. They can build their own nose. If you have a piece of circular paper, you can cut a little strip in it, and they can build their own rocket nose and tape it on top of their rocket. But for this, I'm just going to do a quick demo. I just take my lid, flip it over, put it in as tight as I can. Hopefully this will not hit me in the face. Pressure is building. It may not shoot off because a lot of water is coming out. Anyways, so in a more exciting times, this would shoot off and the kids would get super excited. I have used this rocket several times, so I'm pretty sure that the lid is not quite sealing as tight because I've got a bunch of water in the bottom of my plate. But these are just super easy activities that you can use for a variety of grade levels. And this would be something that I would bring into an after school program. And of course, we would talk more in depthly about rockets and rocket fuel and how, inside our little canister, gas builds up. And finally, the thrust is what shoots our rocket into the air. But these are just simple activities that you guys can replicate for a pretty low cost in your after school programs, and very similar to what many of us do in our after school programs. So that was me. I think.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Does anybody have questions? All right. Thank you, Claudia.
All right,
Great.
Patrick is up next.
All right.
All right. Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Patrick Pulis, and I am the program associate here in Weld County. And so, just like Claudia was talking about, we have a lot of outreach, and a lot of our agents do outreach for your specific county. So you can always reach out to one of us. Each county has their own different kinds of activities. So it really is up to the agent, and you can request for many different kinds of things, and I'm sure they will be very happy to help you with putting together a program. So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, and so one of the things that we've developed is something that are called the mobile labs. And this is something that's come from the state office. We have an office that kind of helps support agents and helps them with curriculum and any other kind of support. And so the state office provided these mobile labs for any agent in Colorado to utilize and to share with their community. So these labs are basically, they're horse trailers or storage trailers that are able to that are just fitted with all kinds of activities inside. So as you can see in the first picture, there's kind of like a tool bench with lots of tools in there. Here at the top right corner, there's a 3D printer. So each lab comes with a different set of programs that are available. And so you have like the career pathway lab that is filled with all kinds of computer science. They've got that's where you got the 3D printer. You've got different kinds of programs to work with just developing things related to computer science. The energy lab is all about energy, and so you can find like there's a wind turbine in there that can be set up on the outside attached to the trailer, and it actually, when the turbine spins from the wind, it will actually generate energy to power the whole lab. And so it's really cool. We also have solar panels that can be set up and to power the whole lab. And these labs will they have a hitch, so they can be moved throughout to any location in Colorado, and you can set it up. They've got tables that you can set up with a canopy tent that is able to shade you, and you can create a whole list of programs and have a kind of like an outdoor experience for many youth. The energy lab also comes with, each lab comes with a lot of small kits of different kinds that help enforce the idea of learning about energy. The Maker Lab is a really cool lab that has these table saws that youth are able to create their own little design for on a piece of wood, and they're able to cut it out. It's kind of like a bandsaw that they're able to cut out the shape that they desire, and create their own unique little gift, or Christmas tree ornament, or just like maybe a coffee coaster or something like that. And so it also comes with these long tubes that you can have boat races. So you can hook it up to some water, and water would go down these PVC pipes, and you would put a boat in there that that the youth would design and develop and put in these. And the last one is the environmental science lab, that has all kinds of things learning about environmental, from hydroponics to planting and growing seeds, and all those sort of things. So these are that's just a little bit of what's inside of each one of these, but they are. Let me answer this question here. Yeah, so the question is if the local agent would be able to get one to your county. That is correct. There is a calendar that you would be if you work with your agent would be able to reserve one of these depending on availability, and this would be and you would just have to come. The agent would have to come pick up the trailer, and you would be able to have these available for any county, anywhere in Colorado. So, and so that's a little bit about the mobile labs. Are there any questions? I'll answer any questions if there are right now.
Not a question, Patrick, but I wanted to give a shout out to CAP, because they sponsored, if I'm correct, Megan, I'm still learning about the trailers, the mobile labs. Your organization sponsored the Mobile Environmental Science Lab. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
The one that's in the picture now, I don't know if it shows. Yeah, it's the Colorado Rural Electric Co-op. And then another one was, I think, Lockheed Martin. They're the ones that sponsored the Career Pathways Lab. So we have sponsorships for 3 of the 4. So if you work with a community entity, or have a community partner that's looking at getting their name out there, it's a great way to advertise, as these trailers are going up and down the county roads and byways and highways of Colorado.
Yes. Yes, and if you are interested in that, what Ruben was talking about sponsoring, then definitely contact the state office, and we would definitely be able to help you there, or contact the agent, and they will be able to contact the state as an office as well. Okay, if you can go to the next slide. So as Claudia was talking about different kinds of outreach programs, this is an example of the outreach here in Weld County that I am a part of. And you can see that we have a breadth of different kinds of things. Just like Claudia was saying, there's so many different things we do. One of the things you do in the top left corner, there's a little, it's a man in a spacesuit, and we do a coding camp. And this is a camp that they are kind of like the youth are 30 days lost in space. And so if you can real quick stop sharing your screen so I can share my video real quick. I'm going to show you real quick.
I got to give you the power. Hold on.
Oh, I don't need to share. I just need to change my video right here.
Okay.
So here we have, this is what we have that come in these coding camps. So you can see there's like a breadboard that kind of looks like this with a lot of holes, and it's got abilities to plug in LED lights, resistor wires, and things, and they're able to put together something like this, where it's very complicated, but it's very, this is kind of like the more it's a camp of 15 days. So this is kind of further along in the camp that they would learn this. And there's like a switch where there's switch and turn on the different color of LED lights. It comes with like an Arduino where they plug it into their computer and they're able to learn about the hardware of putting together the wires and putting in their computer, and also the software of the coding part where they're able to learn about how to use Arduino coding and code their own program so that they have certain kinds of lights turn on and off. So that's one of the camps that we offer, and this, if you wanted this program, then you would have to contact me, or and I could kind of help you along with this, and we might be able to put your youth into a virtual camp. Let me put my email in the chat. Okay, and if you can go back to sharing your screen, Megan. Okay, all right, so that is one of the examples. Right below the lots in space is a pollinators, just like Claudia was talking about. We do pollinators. So there's a series of 7 magazines that we put together that has information all about pollinators, and we actually do a camp on pollinator camp that youth learn how to create rolled candles. They make their own hummingbird feeder out of a reused wine bottle and puffy paint, and they just have a blast. And so that's one of the things that another thing that we do here. And then towards the right, we have worked with the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, and this was during the pandemic. We put together 130 kits that were curbside pickup, and this is we're all geared towards energy. And so they had a 15-lesson energy where they learned about solar energy. And there in the picture, you can see of the box, there is actually a box that they would turn into a solar oven. And they had all kinds of little things that came in, and they would watch a video and they would do the hands-on activity. Just like Claudia was saying, 4-H is all about learn by doing. We have hands-on activities. So these kits all had something specifically geared that they would put together, and they would watch the video alongside with it. And so that's about what I have. I don't want to run over any time, but if you have any questions, then reach out to me or Claudia or Ruben or any of the agents.
Dorisa, did you want to ask a question?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Or you can ask Nicole too, or there are all kinds of agents out there that you'd be able to reach out to your local. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and advance the slide to Health Rocks.
Hi,
Nicole.
everyone. Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Speeding. I am one of the Douglas County 4-H Extension agents. I primarily manage our general projects and our shooting sports program here in Douglas County, and then I also do a bit of STEM work. Colorado 4-H Health Rocks. It's the first time that we've ever put it on a website. And it's really cool this year because typically this program is delivered in person, but due to COVID, we readjusted and made a pretty unique website on Google Sites. So it's pretty cool. So today I'm just gonna kind of talk about what Health Rocks is. It doesn't just exist in Colorado. They have them all throughout the United States. And it is an after-school program, typically about 10 hours of education and learning. So Health Rocks is instilling youth participants invaluable confidence and communication skills necessary to make responsible decisions and develop the internal strength to resist risky behaviors. So if you don't mind going to the next slide. Thank you. And then I was going to play that video. Megan, I'm not sure. Hopefully it works on your end. Perfect.
In the interest of time, can we just not watch the video and we'll send the link so that people can watch that on their own? And then Nicole, this is great information and our team did such a great job. Oh, there we are. That I'd hate to keep trying to get that going. If you could just explain a little bit more about Health Rocks and you do have the graphics on those other slides.
Yep.
Thanks, Nicole.
So just a summary of that video, just kind of going through the seriousness that the bad behaviors and the riskiness that youth are introduced to every single day. And this is kind of one of those harder topics that us as youth educators have to talk about because there are these very real temptations that could lead kids down a really, really hard road. And so part of 4-H, we really focus on positive youth development. Well, part of that is nurturing an environment that teaches them what's right and what's wrong and allows them to think for themselves. And so Health Rocks is an after-school outreach program. It's not part of our traditional 4-H programming, but it is a program that's already put together. And it is actually, what we offer is free for educators to come in and use the Health Rocks program and deliver it to your classrooms. And like I said, it's about 10 hours of lecture and activities. And then Megan, are you still trying to, oh, sweet. Okay, cool. I'm like, I memorized so much until I need the slide again. Thank you. But, and yeah, we can go back to that slide where it said messages from our, okay, so this you guys can watch again on your own time. It's a video of an activity, of a sample activity of what Health Rocks does. So this specific activity, a youth was talking, it's about 12 minutes long. So a youth was talking about, the temptations and messages that we get even now, so more than ever on social media. The way that social media is crafted for these kids is sometimes scary. And it is our job to be there to help support them from any bullying or poor behavior that happens on there, or any bad decisions that that they could be tempted with. And so Health Rocks is, we have two, if you don't mind going to the next slide, please, thank you. So just really quick, this is the group of 4-H extension professionals who created the Health Rocks website in Colorado this year. So we have Claudia, who's on the call with us today, Diana, Jenya, Macy, Marielle, Maddie, me, and then Rachel, and then Patrick has been a part of the team as well. So yeah, that's just been, it's been really fun collaborating with a bunch of agents throughout the whole state. So we've definitely come together and kind of collaborated on that. But I want to talk a little bit more about what Health Rocks actually is, and I believe that's on the next slide. Did we skip one where it said like intermediate and youth? Okay, yes. So that says that we have beginner and intermediate programs. So one program for beginners is from youth 8 to 12 years old. We, each bullet point is a lesson topic. So for beginners, they focus on building healthy relationships, keeping healthy, something called You Choose, where it teaches the younger kids, like this is your decision, but what is, with the knowledge that you have, we are trying to prepare you to make the right one and the healthy one. Dealing with difficult situations, something called Oh, the Pressure. Peer pressure is very real, even as adults, and it's very important that we, teach our kids about this. And then technology and media messages, again, very hot topic. And then the commitment to caring about yourself and caring about others. And then our intermediate program is for youth that are 13 to 16 years old. And I believe that says building healthy relationships again. Then they focus on keeping healthy self-confidence and stress, the fact that it's their choice to do, to make, choices for their own lives based off what they've learned. They talk about, what is normal in this world and what's not, and, why is normal considered normal? Kind of going into that topic. Learning skills, again, technology and media messages, watching for the signs. So watching for dangerous situations, and also being able to observe other peers and within yourself of like looking for warning signs. And then communicating healthy messages. So Health Rocks really encompasses teaching kids how to make good decisions, how to be confident in the decisions they're making, and then also how to live a healthy life, how to exercise, eat healthy, eat right, and be a good youth ambassador and just a positive image for others to follow. So it kind of covers a whole array, and it really all is based around healthy living. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around you here. All right, so we have two separate registration links. So the first one is if youth want to do this program by themselves. We have an individual youth registration here. And then we have an educator registration here. So if you're a teacher, an after-school coordinator, anything of that sort, working with a group of kids, you would sign up for that second bullet point. Fill in about how many kids you think that you would be teaching this to. And everyone that enters this program this year, I think it's before August 1st or September 1st. I'm not sure which one it is. Ruben will probably. So anyways, whoever enters will be in the, sorry, the chats. Let's see, in the drawing for a $25 gift card. And I believe we have 20 gift cards. So anyways, fun times. Just a little incentive to do it, other than the fact that it is a really cool program. Our website is really interactive and cool. Claudia really helped us kind of get that started and running. But if you've ever used Google Sites, that's also another really cool resource to look into, especially during times when we can't be with everyone in person. But yes, we actually, so if you ever need like a hard copy, if you're an educator, you need a hard copy, we can provide it for you. Just reach out to either me, Patrick, or Claudia, and we can give you guys our emails and everything like that. So yeah, that is, I believe that was the last slide for the Health Rocks. Oh yeah, just questions and answers now.
I don't know if I have a link to the website to Health Rocks. Could you put that into the?
So we don't provide the link to the website until you signed up, and then we can get you set up for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Great question.
And you go ahead and stop the screen share, Megan, so it's easier to see there we go. Thank you. Thank you to our team of Claudia, Patrick, and Nicole, three of our great agents that are in counties, 3 different counties. And we would like to answer any questions that you may have regarding Health Rocks, the mobile labs, or some of the projects that Claudia showed that we have available.
I just wanted to add one thing. The cool thing about the 4-H program and Health Rocks and STEM labs is the fact that it's already packaged for you. And I think it's a really tangible way to take something and actually do something with it this summer. So that is one thing that I would say is unique about our programming.
While you're thinking of questions, shameless plug for a position that is available as a 4-H specialist. It's a state position. Wade Engel was the 4-H specialist that oversaw all of our STEM related curriculums and grants, et cetera. And Wade is now with the CSU College of Veterinary Medicine and is going to do a great job there. But in the meantime, the job, I don't know if it's been posted yet, that position, but if you know someone who may be interested in working with extension, specifically with Colorado 4-H and STEM related activities, it's a great opportunity. So that will be available. And Megan, when that, like I said, I don't think it's been posted yet, but when it is posted, I'll send it to you so you can share it with your network.
Okay. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting what you all have going on. This is great. All right. Well, I hope there are some new connections that are made from today's conversation. And we are going to share this recording with our network as well as the Health Rocks program. And I think we should also share that video too. So thanks to everyone who came today and our presenters. And I hope you have a really good rest of your day and a good long weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you,
joining
everyone.
CAP and 4-H.
Thank you.